think it's recording. Hi, my name is Diana. I'm the program coordinator for the Buchanan Area Senior Center. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. We have Miss Ulrike McCarty. And now you say your name correctly because I know I mispronounce it all the time. Ulrike?
Ulrike.
Ulrike. Okay. So the E's is pronounced as an A, Ulrike with an A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, again, thank you. Welcome to Fireplace Conversations. I am going to hand this off to Ulrike because I say it wrong. I so apologize. But first of all, she is our instructor for our chair yoga. She's been with the center for how long? About a year?
Year and a half?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Right.
About a year and a half.
She is so loved by the patrons here at the center. She has a very gentle class that she does and letting you stretch and move and connecting. And so wonderful. So I'm going to hand it off to her, and she's just going to tell us a little bit more about how she got involved with the senior center, how she got involved with yoga, and where she's going with her new yoga studio.
Lots of things. Yeah, first off, I can disrobe, as we call it, right? Yes, I do have a face, a mouth. Yeah, so with the senior center, I had heard, so this was probably 2 years ago, I heard that you guys were looking for a yoga teacher to replace someone. And then I didn't connect fast enough, and they ended up finding someone. Okay. So at that point, that was all settled. And then Jan was still here. She reached out to me if I was still interested in teaching here. So that's how I came back. And I just thought that it would be really neat to teach here. I do get paid by the center, but we negotiated a price, and it's good. I feel compensated, and I just enjoy teaching here. So once I started teaching, I realized, and you know that, and you receive a lot working here. I mean, seniors are awesome.
They are, and they're so appreciated.
Yes, they're open. They're probably what I would consider my most open students.
Okay.
You know, they're just, well, they've lived life for a while, as we know.
Yes.
And as we all age, and I'm now kind of in that middle age, I guess. You start shifting in your mind, or you just. It's just different,
right? You start to let go of things.
Yes.
And you decide what you're going to worry about and don't worry about.
Exactly, and they're the same way, and I just love how they ask me a lot of questions. They're open to everything that we're doing. We do a lot of pranayama, breathing exercises, and yoga. Lots of different movements, and they're actually, it's a chair yoga class, but they're moving so well. Yeah. We always try new things, and they're always open to it. And I try to bring other elements into the practice. And from the beginning, I like to use the mantra Om at the end of the practice for all my classes. And I remember as I started teaching, I myself like it in my own personal practice, and I know I like the settling of it. And but as you know, with yoga, there can be that stigma, is it like this religion? What about these mantras? What do they mean? What do they say? What am I saying? That you're afraid to participate. So, I always give the students the option. You can just hum like a bumblebee. You have that same effect. So it's really that vibration of that mantra that's settling in your body. And the mantra itself, Om, it's oneness. So as we are together gathering in this space, as we're going through our class, we're just kind of connecting with each other. And when everyone participates, and everyone here does, which is so awesome, And they love it.
Yeah.
They love it. And they're not shy about it.
Yeah.
And you just feel that peace. You feel that vibration from everyone's voice. And then we just let it settle. And that's how we end our practice. And it's just wonderful.
Yeah, it is. Even today, they had their chair yoga class on Thursdays at the center at 10 a.m. At this time right now. That might change going forward since the center is able to open up.
Are we switching?
Oh, sure. We're learning all about this. We're still practicing.
Yep.
But with her yoga class, I was sitting in my office, which is on the other side of the main floor, and the office itself, and I heard you guys doing the Om.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so relaxing for me, and it brought a smile to my face because they get in that special space where they can really just they did their stretching, they've done the connectness within their body and their soul, however they choose to do it. Some do it more of a spiritual way, some do it just as a practice for physical practicing, but they still get to connect. And it was really exciting to hear the Om and understanding how important that is, and understanding how the vibration is important to us and how that helps us heal and how it helps our mind and our body and our soul. So that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So how did you actually get into practicing yoga, and how did you decide to become a teacher?
Okay. Yeah, and I had to actually think, and I'm actually going to have to take a sip. And my water is warming up from
the fireplace is nice and warm in here.
It's finally getting a little bit nicer out. But so I was actually thinking back. So officially, I've been practicing yoga probably for about 10 years now.
Okay.
My own practice, where I started, taking some classes and kind of got into it. Before that, I've always done some exercising, running, Pilates, lots of different things. But I was actually thinking back. My very first connection with yoga was in my teens. I want to say,
oh, really?
Yes. I want to say I was about, I'm just guessing, like 16 maybe. 14, 16. So my mom actually signed up for a yoga class, and it was one of these places, a very small little old-fashioned kind of yoga place, like a cute little yoga studio that someone had in their home. And I remember it looked like something where you go into like some kind of oriental place.
Oh, okay.
There were just like carpets and big pillows, and everything was very colorful and oriental. So like how it would look like if you go to India to go to a yoga class, or how you would picture it. And that was the setting. So she asked me to join her for this. It was like a course. It was like a class for, I don't remember, maybe 6 weeks. That we participated in.
Yeah, so you get to learn from the beginning and get to know your poses a little bit better.
Yes. So I did that with her, and there were some other things I would do with her over the years, like a little cooking class here or there, and but that was something I did, and we both have a picture, like an old Polaroid picture, where we ended up, in a certain pose, and then he would take pictures of us as a memory. What I didn't know, and my mom just passed away, not too long ago. So my sister is, and my family's in Germany, just for the audience, I guess. As my sister started going through some of my mom's things, she came across this folder of yoga poses.
Oh my God!
So she actually had a folder, must have been maybe from that course that we took. But I remember, and she told me herself, one of the last nice conversations we had, that she did after that yoga course, she did actually practice yoga. So after we went to school, so we were in school, we don't know what the moms do at home, right?
Right.
So yeah, she would do yoga.
Oh my gosh, what
isn't that crazy?
And 360.
Right. And here she still has this folder, which I'm going to receive once I get to travel home.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And I had kind of forgotten about that.
Do you think that that's part of the journey of why do you think it came back? Because I talk about the 360. When I talk about 360, things seem to come back around.
Yes.
And so you get the full picture. When we're going through things, we don't really see. We can't see the future. We don't know. We can dream and we can manifest, but we don't know exactly how it's going to turn out.
Nope.
But when you come around, you get that full 360. You get that, aha, wow, look how that has unfolded. Do you feel like that?
Yes, because she was pretty excited when she learned that I was teaching yoga and that I went through my training. So I guess I'll tell you how I ended up getting to the teaching part.
Okay.
So 10 years ago, I got into yoga and I just started taking some local classes and I enjoyed it, and there were quite a few things. It's like, what's this or what's that all about? All of this yoga talk, this language, and talking about energy and it's like, what is all that?
I love that.
Right. What is all that? So I became really interested in it. And then, like I said, I was taking the classes as kind of a complement to what I was already doing because I was into heavy running and other exercise, but I did also like meditation. So I do like very low key, things. And I didn't realize how much, I mean, I kind of knew it, but it kind of all brought it back. So I actually I had a car accident in 2014. So at that point I was running every week. So like we would meet and a group of us would meet and run like a couple times a week and pretty good mileage, I mean, at least like 5 miles per run.
Okay.
That all came to a halt, because I didn't have like major injuries, but it put me, in a chair for a while.
Yeah.
I had, something with my ankle on one foot, and then I had my hand. Actually, it's this like, where's the scar? My right hand. But once I felt better, I really missed the yoga classes. So the local studio here was teaching some classes. And I just started going back to the classes, even so I actually had this in somewhat of a cast.
Okay.
And I still had my foot in, again, like a walking kind of cast that you could take off. So I would like take it off and participate in class and just do all the gentle movements. And I just kind of adapted some poses myself. And I remember, and looking back now, it's like, oh my God, this teacher, and it was Kathy Hagley.
Oh, yes.
She was teaching down at Redbud Studio.
Okay.
And I remember her kind of looking at me and watching me like, oh, is she going to be okay? Is she going to hurt herself? And now as a teacher, I'm like, oh my God.
I understand
that must have been like a nightmare for her. So sorry, Kathy. But I just realized, there's so many different things you can do with yoga. The practice adapts to whatever stage you're in. I mean, yoga is not just about, going through this like major vinyasa flow and getting all that movement and getting a sweat on. It's not about that at all. It's about the movement, but you can use props and modifications to, wherever you're at. And I realized that while I was going through that. So as I was more mobile, then I could do more with it. And then I ended up taking a meditation course with a lovely teacher, and that was also offered at the studio downtown. Terry Tunnels is her name. And that was really interesting and eye-opening. Yeah. So I got a little bit more into the meditation. And that was very helpful, especially what you go through. You know, sometimes you're mad when things happen to you.
Yes.
It's like, why me? And now
Yes.
I can't do this, and I can't do what I like to do. I want to be out there running or whatever, but that's not always,
Right.
it's there are other things. It's not like,
Well, it's being open to
Yeah.
learning something new,
yeah,
to challenging yourself, to stepping into the fear, and to a new journey. And when you have a new journey and you open up to that fear, you get to meet new people.
right,
And
Right.
you get to learn new things, because if you keep doing the same old, you don't really grow, and you don't really have the opportunity to see what else is out in the world. And that's what's so wonderful. I'm gonna tag in the senior center right now. That's what's so wonderful about the senior center.
Yes.
Is that we have the chair yoga, the chair exercise classes, we have power basic cardio drumming, we have
lots and lots.
right,
of
we
things.
have programs, people coming in to share information, educational information,
Mhm.
because we do keep learning and we keep growing. So that's, for me personally, that's why I love what I do.
Yes.
I love being here because it gives the opportunity for people to do things they enjoy, but also give themselves an opportunity to learn something new.
Right.
And that's what's really great. And I think that's what you're talking about. Sometimes something in our lives changes. We have a shift. We have something, an accident. We have deaths. We have just things change. And when they do, just being truly open up with your heart source and with your mind, saying, okay, this is happening for me. So what else can I do? What else can I learn? And how can I step into doing something new? And we know that's scary to do new things. We know that you really like to have things scheduled. You like to have things the same. Change for a lot of the patrons, they don't want the change. But when we do open up to it, we really do have an opportunity to have new things blossom in our lives. So that's kind of what you're saying, is that this gave you an opportunity to live life differently, to learn new things, do new things.
Yep. Yeah, and then with the teaching part, so once I got back, then I was obviously able to get back into exercising, and I just had a nice combination of that, and I would go to yoga classes also, and I really liked a couple teachers, and one teacher was actually going through a yoga training herself, so she was actually already kind of teaching the class, and she was a good friend, and I enjoyed her class, but I also, maybe because we were friends, I just noticed like this shift in her.
I love shifts.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
So I just, this is over months, right? I just noticed, she had more and more knowledge. She was sharing different things in our practice, and so I just became really interested in it. And in the end, it was like, I need to know more about this. I want to learn for myself.
You was getting nudged.
Yes.
Nudged, like your inner being was nudging you to go deeper into.
For me, for me. So so I sought out actually the same yoga school. There are little schools that she went to, and I started my yoga training, and I actually postponed a shoulder surgery that I was due to have, and I did my yoga training first instead.
Okay. Wow, that's commitment. Now, was that a live, that you actually went to a studio for your yoga training?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't that online. It was actually like face to face.
No. Okay. Yep. So that was in 2015. Yeah, my first training. Yeah, so I started the training, and as I said, the intention was to just deepen my own practice and to just kind of learn what this yoga is all about. And about halfway through, I realized, wow, everything that was part of yoga, and it awakened different things and clarified some things for me, all these aha moments because even like religion, I always kind of struggled with religion. It's not that I don't believe, but I'm not someone that goes to church. I never really had a connection with that, but it's not that I, dismiss religion. But I realized when you practice yoga, it's all about, having respect for one another. And there is a connection. We all have that same connection, no matter what religion.
Right.
And yet,
whatever you want to call it, there is a higher source.
yes. And then I finally realized that was one of the aha moments. Like, oh, okay, that's it. Because there was actually a point in my life where I was like, should I just say that? What am I? Am I a Christian? Am I,
Yeah.
or am I an atheist?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then finally, I was like, no, I'm just spiritual.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There is no, you don't have to have a religion attached to anything. Anybody can be spiritual. So that was a big aha moment for me. It's like,
yes.
Okay, so I felt at home.
Yes.
I felt very comfortable. And then with a yoga training, it gets pretty deep. There's a lot of sharing. It's almost like you go through almost like a little bit of a rehab in a way.
Okay.
It's it gets very deep because it's, yoga is, as we go through the movements and breathing and meditation, it opens things up, right? It brings things up. We become very raw, and then we were in this awesome group when we felt comfortable with each other. So it was almost kind of a little bit like counseling, right? We were like in this like workshop together, this healing kind of circle.
Right.
So we would share things with each other each weekend that we would come together, because we would spend like a whole weekend together.
Okay. Like a retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So that first training.
So this is during the training class.
Yeah. So halfway through, I realized I kind of want to share. Yeah. I felt like I needed to share the things that I learned. I can't keep that to myself because other people will have to know about it.
It feels so good.
Yeah. It's like, I feel so good.
Yeah.
So I need to share this because that would be rude not to to share it. So I slowly started teaching at the very same studio, and that I had taken classes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
before I even graduated. And I find it really rewarding when I teach. Mm-hmm. It feels really good. Just to see how the students, settle into a practice or have their own aha moments, and or maybe at least, they're inspired by something.
Right.
Have like a little spark where they feel like, oh, I want to explore this or that. And once I was teaching for a while, I was like hungry for all this other information. So I can't even tell you how many workshops and additional little trainings and one-on-ones with other teachers. And as I was teaching, I still felt like I need to know more. I don't know enough. I need to be a good teacher.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to do another training, which was bigger than the first one.
It was through the same yoga studio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So I completed that in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you go through like a 200-hour training, and that's what a lot of people do, and it's a really nice, well-rounded training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm just that way. I was just hungry for more info.
Well, passion.
Yeah.
When you're passionate about something, and it's part of your purpose as well.
Yes.
So when you are being guided to where you're supposed to go, and we talk about higher source or whatever that is for you, you know, with God, Buddha, whatever religion you have or spirituality you have, there is that calling that actually
Right.
it helps guide you. So when you are ready on your path, you know, and part of your accident sounds like that was your guide. That was what, you know, that happened to help you
Right.
to go into your passion, into
Yep.
your purpose. So you could share that with so many other people. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. So knowing that, you know, yoga is for everyone, you know, and it doesn't have to be a physical practice.
Right.
It can just be a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching. Yeah, it can be meditation. That's all part of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yoga, the asanas as we call them in Sanskrit, the movements, the practice. That's only a small part of yoga.
Yeah.
So there's so much more to it, and just following some guidelines, you know, just like we do as you know, as good human beings, I guess. No matter what religion you follow, it's
The
always
values.
about, you know, being kind to one another. You know, show kindness, even if the other person may not show it, but you know, just
That's good.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Then, so you are now having your own studio. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so that was the weird thing too. So once I started the whole teaching thing, then so because I really like to teach to a broad audience, or I feel like, yeah, I mean, yoga is for anybody, no matter what's going on with you. So there are lots of different classes, very low-key classes. I like to use props. I don't always use props. So props are like yoga blocks, and we have some here, or here we use the chair, you know, so that's a prop. And you don't have to have anything fancy, you know, especially right now with COVID. I'm still teaching online, and so you just use whatever you have at home. And like even this carpet right here, you don't have to have a yoga mat, you know, you don't have to have fancy yoga clothes. It's, you know, you come as you are.
Okay.
And that's how it should be,
Yes.
you know, with whatever you have. But I enjoyed teaching at the different venues that were nice enough to let me teach and explore and expand. But I just kind of had my own ideas on how I wanted to offer classes, and right away I started expanding, and I did little workshops at different places that I would rent. And I started having a little bit of a following, which was kind of weird. But I realized once I did some of these workshops, it's like, okay, people come to it. They actually come to it, you know? So I could probably maybe rent a space somewhere. So that's what I did. I couldn't do it last year because of COVID, but fall before that, so fall of 2019.
Yeah.
I ended up renting space at our awesome local library.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so upstairs in that gallery, as they call it, I
Okay.
taught actually 3 classes up there each week. So
Oh, wow.
so I rented the space, and they even let me leave my stuff there, which was nice. So that was my first venture as like somewhat of a studio, and it was, you know, it was very popular, and I probably could have taught some more classes, but as it is, when you rent a space, it's limited on the hours, you know, the time, and
Yes.
and your and you just never know with schedules and availability. So I knew right away I was looking for another space to rent. So I was really looking around this area, and but I just I just knew I needed to have my own space.
Okay.
I had started to, with my yoga earnings, I started to buy things for the business. So first I did a website, and I got little business cards, and I did, I'm an LLC, so I have insurance, so all the right things. There's even a association for yoga. It's called the Yoga Alliance. Okay. I'm part of that. And to be part of it, you have to complete so many workshops in a year, or over a certain time period, like continuing education.
Okay.
So that you're keeping up to date. And so I'm part of that. And then I started buying props. Okay. And they're very expensive. So I accumulated all that by the time I ended up teaching the classes at the library. So
Excellent.
Yep, so I had taken all my props. So I had all this, but had no place. Yeah. And then 2020, it's like,
we have a change.
What do you do? So I didn't go to the online teaching right away. I actually, and this is another thing, right? Sometimes you just have to realize that you just have to sit back and just take a break.
Yeah. I call that a pause.
Yeah.
In life, and no matter what, we always have these pauses.
Yep.
And they are time for reflection.
Yep.
And they're time for clarity, and they're time to let your roots and your foundation to settle and to grow, in order for you to get into the next movement of your life, your career, your job, your relationship. So I think I love pauses.
Yes.
And I love shifts. And usually what happens after a pause, you go into a shift.
Right.
So I'm going to hand that back to you. I get really excited about this kind of conversation.
Yeah. You do, don't you?
I do.
But, these shifts. So COVID hit, and we'll get to that later, because I do more than just teach yoga. I'm a business owner in town, so combining all that. So we were kind of busy with that, and we actually had a huge thing with our business. We were actually moving, and so we were kind of displaced. So there was a lot going on with that kept me occupied, and I just didn't have it in me to figure out this online teaching thing, and I actually ended up taking other teachers' classes.
Okay.
So I did the online, participation.
It helps you learn too.
Yes. Yep. So that's what I did. I just did things for myself, because I needed to. Sometimes when anything we do, right, that we love, and we start teaching those kind of things to others, then it takes time away from us doing what we love.
Practice.
Yes. Okay. So my own practice suffered. So I had to get back to that, which I did. And some other things, So I didn't really have like downtime or idle time like some of us maybe had. And we're kind of crying for like, oh, I want to, I don't know what to do. And I would just be almost screaming like, I know what I would do, but I can't. I'm still, having to spread my time out. But and either way is not good, So I felt bad for anyone that just didn't quite know what to do with their time. And hopefully they found things to do. And that's where I think with the online stuff, that was so nice, to be able to do different meditation classes. And you guys did an awesome job here with, the classes here, the recordings, and there's so much more now. I mean, what a great way. Again, you just adapt. People adapt, So I did finally start to offer online classes, and but it wasn't until, when was it? It was before Christmas, but studio. That's right. So over the summer, actually, a good friend of mine pointed it out to me. She pointed out this building, and I looked at it actually with her and a realtor, and I kind of dismissed it. And then I kept my eye open for some other buildings in town and looked at several buildings, and nothing really Well, some of them I was excited about, but then not so much about the price, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I went back to that first building, and then I ended up buying it.
Okay. So you bought the building.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, we own the building, and we're still remodeling it. So that's again, being patient.
Practice.
But with all the restrictions and
yeah, you
know,
have to. Yeah. It's
yeah.
giving you some time.
Right. So I'm still kind of taking a break. I mean, I'm teaching online, but not everyone is excited to do that. It's kind of hard.
Right.
And I miss the one-on-one.
Yes.
It's
the energy.
It's hard to see the students moving, on their little screen, and I'm really looking, but it's kind of hard. I mean, you lose that. So I tried a few things online, and it's working okay. But I'm hopefully opening here very early April.
Okay, but that's too far away then.
No.
What's the name of your business?
River of Life Yoga.
And the location?
It's 113 Main Street, so it's in the old Havens Retreat Spa building.
Okay.
Yep. So right across from the B&W.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So right there, Main Street, easy to find, very accessible. Parking is wonderful.
Yep.
So yes. And then what is your website address?
The same. So riveroflifeyoga.com. So even if you just Google me, you'll find me.
Okay.
So I'm on Google, and I'll show you where it's at. That finally happened. That's a process too.
Yes.
All these little business things. It's not always that easy.
Right.
But it will take you to the website.
Okay.
And of course, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff.
Just going to recap the yoga part, and then we're going to go into a little bit about how you actually came to the States.
Yeah.
And just want to recap with you that she is here on Thursday mornings. As of right now, that today is March 4th. So as the center will be opening up, restrictions are being loosened. That may change. We might go back to the 9 o'clock that we had before, but I think 10 is working really well.
I think the seniors really like it.
Yeah, so that's my goal, is kind of keep it at 10. But on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, you see Ulrike, I can't say her name. I love her name, though. Here at the center, just give us a call and get registered. Check it out in the newsletter as well. And also check out her website. And if you have questions for online, you can either contact her through her Facebook page, or you can even contact me, and I can get your name and number and give it to her. She can will get in contact with you. So, you are from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a story about that. So let's listen what we can learn more about Ulrike.
Yeah. I was Ulrike.
Ulrike.
I was born and raised in Germany. And I came here when I was 21. So in my hometown, it's Wertheim. It's a small town, bigger than Buchanan.
Okay. Niles, maybe between Buchanan and Niles?
It's probably like Niles, maybe even a little bigger than Niles. Yeah.
Okay.
And towns are very different in Germany, if anybody's ever been to Germany. So, it's very quaint, and you have the old buildings, you have a market square. I'm from the southern part of Germany, so we actually have castles.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a castle in my town right at the top of this hill. And my town is really cool because the old downtown, so the original part of the town, is actually right between two rivers. I know.
Oh.
Yes, so these two rivers meet. So depending on which direction you come from as you drive to my town, so usually when I go visit my home, coming from the airport, so the direction that we come from, that's always my favorite part. As we get closer, I get to this bridge, and because, the two rivers are underneath, and then you see the castle right up there at the top. And that's the whole idea. So way back when, right? That's where they put the castle. And you can see in all directions.
Yes.
where the traffic, you know, is coming from, people that are coming. And there's even like a watchtower that's still there, you know, again, right at the tip of where the two rivers are. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But as we know, with, you know, war way back when, so the army, the American army, ended up settling into my area, and then they retained some bases. So there's some army bases. So there was actually an army base in my hometown. So anyone here, you know, if you had a son or a daughter going into the army and then they would go to Germany to be stationed, they could have been stationed in my hometown.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to my husband, Greg, the man I married. So he's from Buchanan, and he went into the army, and then he was stationed in Germany, and then we met in a local nightclub. Nothing fancy, no crazy story. He was really cute.
He's so cute.
He still is, yeah. And we just kind of talked, and at the time I was actually going through my apprenticeship. So this was after high school. I was going through my apprenticeship to become a hairdresser. So that was my occupation then. Yeah. So I'm a full-fledged hairdresser. Education there is a little bit different. So we had to go through like a trade school. It was 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I was probably, I think, on my second year when I met him. So whenever I was done with school, then we would meet up somewhere and go for walks and just talk. And of course we would, you know, meet weekends, evenings, whatever. And we just, I don't know, it's one of these relationships where you're just really comfortable with each other, and we decided, we just told the story to someone the other day, we mutually decided to get married.
Aww.
You know, it wasn't, there was no, you know, get down on one knee
or anything, but yes. But
and I never received a ring or anything. It was just, like, we were just like, oh, we should...
Where do we want to go? Where do we go from here?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's healthy in a way, because that is where you talk about it, and you know, and you're secure in the relationship, secure with yourself, and you're learning to make decisions together,
right,
and communicating.
Well, the decision was, so if we would take this relationship further, and if we were to get married, where would we live?
That's a big one for you. Yeah.
Right. And for me, it was a no-brainer. I was like, well, yeah, we're going to move to the States.
Really? Yeah. So you was excited?
Yes, I was just kind of adventurous, I guess. And I thought that sounded great and exciting, you know.
Oh.
For whatever reason. I don't know. At that time, I did, you know.
Yeah.
So we talked about all those things because that was important to him, because he wouldn't have wanted to stay in Germany. Mm-hmm. So we decided to get married, and then there's a process with the Army. Some of you may know that. You have to ask for permission from your staff sergeant, and then because I was from Germany, they actually went through a little bit of a background check on my family. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So then we finally had the day where they're like, okay, you can get married. And so we set pretty much the next available date. And we just had a small wedding at the town hall, Justice of Peace. And just a small gathering after that. So no church wedding, and just real simple. We knew each other exactly 9 months when we got married.
Okay.
And we just celebrated our 34th anniversary.
So you guys just had an anniversary.
Yeah. Okay. So, so we lived in Germany for about a year. We had our first anniversary in Germany. But before we got married, his parents actually came to Germany to visit us, to meet me. Yeah. See what's going on. With his brother. So, and the cool thing is, you know, my husband's name is Greg McCarty, Well Drilling. Jerry McCarty, who passed away a few years ago, was his dad, my father-in-law. Yeah, cancer.
Okay.
Yep. And his mom, Linda.
Who is an instructor here.
Yes, for a long time, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Linda Van Overberg, and she's married to Russ, which a lot of people know here. They're very involved with the church. And but yeah, so his parents, Jerry and Linda and his brother Mike, they came to Germany to visit, to meet me and the family and see where he was at. So that was so cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we were already married, but you know.
Yeah, but
so I did get to meet them.
Okay.
But that's all I knew before coming here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you moved into Buchanan and have been here ever since then.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a little bit of a culture shock when I came here, and you know, Buchanan was kind of, you know, yeah. I mean, we had gotten married, and then that summer we came here for a visit.
Okay.
And it was nice. The family had a reception for us in their backyard, and I met all these people. Because they know a lot of people.
Yes, they do.
So I met all these people, and I couldn't keep everyone straight, right? But everyone was so nice, and then a year later we moved here.
Okay.
So luckily I already knew where I was moving to. I already met some of the family, but it was all kind of a blur, you know. And then once I moved here, it's funny because the pictures from that reception that we had, it took a few years, and then I would look, because it was a picture of strangers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because I didn't know anybody. And then I remember, you know, then you pull out your album, right, every once in a while. And I would pull the album out, and it's like, oh, look at that. So-and-so was at our reception, and just all of a sudden recognizing all these people that had come to congratulate us, you know, and now knowing them actually, you know.
Names with the face and relationships, friendships.
So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
And Linda, of course, she was a great, she kind of became like my mom.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she was like my, still is, you know, like my mother replacement in a way.
Opened her heart
and
welcoming you into the family.
And they did. They just took me right in. And so I'm their daughter. Yeah. Yeah. Because they didn't have a daughter.
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah.
I love stories.
I know. Yeah, so it was
wonderful.
Really, really nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, 30. How many years you said? 34?
34.
Okay, wow. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad that you took that leap of faith and here
I know,
and
right?
all the stuff that you offer to the Buchanan community. So thank you. Just kind of wind things down a little bit. What makes you laugh?
I would say, like, I mean, of course a good joke, but usually it's like truly human kind of mistakes, you know, like not where you would laugh at someone's mishap, but like when people can laugh
at themselves with you. Yes,
right, where you can just, those kind of laughs.
I do.
That is my favorite laugh, and then you go back to that moment, where you think about that moment again, and it will make you laugh the same way. So Greg and I actually had one of those moments years ago when the Wheatberry first opened. We're sitting there having dinner, and he had ribs, and I'm just minding my own business, eating my dinner. He's across from me. So, it starts to make me laugh already. It's one of those stories. So he's messing around with the barbecue sauce bottle, and you know where I'm going with that. And he's squeezing and doing, and I'm just like, whatever, Next thing I know, I can feel like something hit me. Right?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm looking at him, and I was gonna get mad, saying, you know, dang it, why did you do
Now I'm
you know,
dirty. Look at
now
all this
you got barbecue sauce on me. I couldn't be mad because I'm looking at him and he had barbecue sauce all over him.
Oh my God! So you got the luster of the two.
I look up and he has it all over him.
Oh my gosh!
Not only that, then I started looking around him and there was a little, you know, on the floor over here and on somebody's coat, a lady's purse. I mean, it was just like one of those, oh my God moments. But I can still picture him, the look on his face with all that barbecue sauce all over his face and the shirt. And, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, and each time you think about it, I mean,
You just laugh.
we both just start. We laughed so hard we were crying.
Oh, when the tears come from your
Yes.
eyes. Yes, yes.
You know, it's. I mean, it's just simple moments like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I have those with friends, family. You know, my grandkids, and
Yeah.
just those kind of things.
The
Yeah,
simple, just
Yeah.
laughter.
yeah.
And the last thing, what kind of wisdom would you like to share with us?
Well, just as we touched base on it before, you know, kind of to just keep an open mind. You know, always keep an open mind. And I always try to live by, you know, try not to judge anyone.
Mhm.
Kind of like that saying, don't judge the book by its cover.
Right.
So with people, situations, things, you can apply that to all different areas because you just don't know. Just like you and I sitting here,
Right.
I know quite a bit about you, but I don't truly know everything about you.
Right.
So
You don't know my history. You don't know the story of how I got to where I'm at.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And someone that we meet or that we know of, we may think, oh, she just has it all. What a wonderful life.
Yeah.
Great house, maybe, or this and that. All these things just seem so perfect.
Right.
You know, great kids, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what they truly go through or what they've been through, what their upbringing was, what, you know, maybe what kind of illness they're carrying that they're just not really publicizing.
Right.
You know, a lot of us are more quiet or we suffer in silence, and you just don't know. So to never just judge someone.
I agree.
You know, and and just keeping an open mind and just trying to be kind to anyone, no matter, you know, who they are, what they look like. Yeah. Just not to try to judge right away. So it's kind of, you know, like one of the principles of yoga too.
Yeah.
And that goes the same with so me as a teacher. I try my very best to not judge anyone that comes through my door. Yeah. Not assume that, oh, you're gonna be flexible. Right? Or the opposite, you know, no, you're not. You know, I'm probably gonna have to do this and that with you. No, because I don't know. Right. We won't know until we start to practice. Yeah. And then I just observe, you know, so not to make these assumptions about anything. And just being open and therefore just letting things happen and just learn to adapt, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so wonderful. I so appreciate and very grateful that you took this time out today to share with us and about who she is, how she got on her journey with yoga. I think it's so fun that as a teenager you said, or young girl, that your mom took you to a yoga class and your mom actually did some practicing without you realizing it. And you have this beautiful notebook or folder, photograph
at home
Waiting for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yep, that would be a nice
360.
memory.
So wonderful, and we are so very grateful for you opening up to us and sharing your kindness with
Thanks
us.
for having me. I mean,
Yes.
I feel very privileged.
Well, we just appreciate you, and the seniors love you. Like I said, check her out here at the Senior Center on Thursdays, 10 o'clock. She also has her online studio going on as well. She's hoping to be opening up her face-to-face. Come on into her studio located on Main Street here in Buchanan. If you have questions how to get in touch with her, just let me know. I can help you out. Again, my name is Diana. I am the program coordinator for the Fireplace Conversations. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.